Hello and welcome back to Cinders. It is now Sophia's time to crash and burn. I do believe that they are both meant to crash and burn simply because there have been no little trees in the corner. So I think that she would have fucked up regardless, and Sophia's gonna fuck up too in the opposite way, but whatever. Which is a pity, because I would have liked to have seen Sophia with the seal. I think that would have been cute as hell. Good evening, Your Grace. Oh, I do hope I use the right style. Good evening, my lady! It is one of the conventional titles used when addressing kings. So no, not really. At least not yet. Oops, looks like I blew it already. I wouldn't worry about that. I never understood all those subtleties myself, nor cared for them for that matter. I must be really lucky then, since I don't care much for titles myself. Never seen the purpose. You do not? Quite a rare trait for a daughter of a noble house. And much more importantly, daughter of a powerful and ambitious lady. Don't forget about women with agendas, Your Highness. They tend to be pretty hard to overlook anyway. Oh, is that so? Oh yes. Quite an overbearing character, that mother of ours. She even made us wear these dresses, you see. Have you ever worn a corset this tight, my prince? What? How did you know about my dress-up time? No, I never had the... chance? Opportunity? Oh, neither had I until today. But it doesn't really matter, because we all have our roles to play and tasks to fulfill. After all, a single night can change the fate of many. Whole families, great houses, dynasties, etc. I can see you're quite upset, my lady. I forgot his voice there completely. I'm only the younger daughter, and my mother wasn't born into ladyship, so it's second-hand nobility you're speaking to. You don't have to lady me, my prince. All right, if you say so. Are you here because your mother asked you to come against your will? Yes, that's exactly why I'm here, because I'm a good girl who's willing to play her part. In that case, would you believe it if I said the reason why I'm here is not that different from yours? I guess you could call it... a family obligation? Yes. Although my oppressive parent is here in spirit alone, his legacy is omnipresent, his influence palpable. I thought the wine tasted funny. What? Oh, you don't have to play that shocked look on me. If you're anything like me and your father was even slightly similar to my mother, a joke like that won't make you blink. You're right. Having spent my life among people trained to keep up appearances, I picked up all the conventional reflexes. Like acting shocked when someone is making a joke about your dead parent, even though everyone knows he wasn't as good a father as he was a king. I feel lucky already. At least nobody ever forced me into a mold of politeness. I shudder at the thought of someone trying. Such a silly concept, this politeness. Lying to each other in the name of good manners, as if honesty was a vice. You are a very original young woman, you know that? Isn't original one of the categories physicians use when they lock you up in an asylum? Technically, I think it's innovative. And I'm serious. I'm glad you're here. I'd love to get to know you better. There we go. That's my flower. The correct response... What the fuck? I didn't mean to read it like that at all. The correct response here would be to say, "Thank you, Your Highness," and maybe blush a bit, yes? Well, I'm not so good at blushing on demand. Don't get me wrong, my prince, you seem much nicer than I expected, but I didn't come here because I wanted to have a chat with you. I'm here because my mother has serious control issues and wants me to play a role she's scripted for me, probably before I was even born. Not very entertaining a role, mind you. As for my sister, well, alright. That actually is the pleasant part. I just wanted to show her that I can do it better without even trying. I couldn't care less about ruling. Grown-ups sitting in ridiculous chairs wearing funny hats made of metal. Frankly, it all seems very silly to me.
Well, you've made your point quite clear, so what now?
Now, if you were a normal man, I would gladly invite you to our residence, show you how our lovely family operates, get to know you better. But alas, you are not. Therefore, it's the perfect time to go back home and get this cursed thing off my waist. Whoever invented these must have been really innovative. Good night. Have a nice ball and everything. I'm out of here.
What the?
That was hella cute. Come on, Basile, go chase after her.
Heavens! This ball is turning into a madhouse rather rapidly, and I have a half-chub. Too bad, though. This one I started to like.
Alright, I'm almost there and all ready. Time to make my grand entrance. I have to click to get there. Here I go. Lol.
A complete and utter disaster! You have no idea how much this will cost our family. You had a chance to secure the future for yourselves. And for your children and their children. You'll be very lucky to find a single man in the kingdom, willing to court you after the display you gave tonight.
I guarantee no one was watching, but whatever. And good riddance!
What did you say?
Mother, look, there's some commotion in the ballroom. I think someone important has arrived.
Indeed. Whoever that is, they can afford to be late. So I'm guessing it really has to be someone important.
Let's see what dress she has on.
Everyone has gone silent! What's going on?
Da-da-da-da! So it's her dancing with him. Because that's her headpiece on that silhouette back there. Looks like we have a latecomer. And an interesting one at that. She looks like a complete asshole.
That is a mighty fine dress! I wish I had it on.
Wait, is that? I think I know her.
I don't applaud her lack of punctuality, but she certainly knows how to make an entrance. I wonder who she might be.
I don't think punctuality is among the top qualities expected from a future queen.
What about stunning looks?
Not a prerequisite, but then again, neither is courage, and this one clearly has plenty of both. Watch out, my prince.
She's coming.
Good evening, your highness. And to you too, captain. Good evening, my lady. Now if you please excuse me, my prince.
Gotta go jerk off! Good evening, my lady! I have noticed you only just arrived!
Even those who care little for appearances must accept the fact that people still judge others by their looks. That's why proper preparations have to take time.
And if I may judge, the outcome is positively stunning!
Flattery is a very pleasant way of showing others we want something from them. So what is it that you want in this situation, my prince? Is it an obedient wife, a wise consort, or just someone to keep you warm at night? Do not get me wrong, your highness. I do empathize with your complicated situation and understand you must have a wife to be crowned.
I can see you don't hold social conventions in high regard. That is quite an accurate description of my predicament, though. And yet, understanding this, you are here. Don't tell me it's to taste wine from the royal cellars.
Frankly, there's more than one reason. The wine, the food, not to mention company. I won't deny I find power interesting, especially after hearing all the rumors.
Oh, so there is a spark of curiosity behind that cold, inquisitive look. There's nothing more natural than being attracted to power, my lady.
I didn't say I was attracted to it. I merely stated that I find it, and those who wield it, intriguing. For example, what kind of person does one have to be a good ruler?
A sound philosophical question, worthy of the author of The Duke.
What?
And what are your views on the matter?
Did she write a book called The Duke? Although her approach may at times be cynical or overly instrumental, I believe that Levia Malich managed to describe power in its actual rather than ideal form. Is there a book called The Duke by Levia Malich that everyone knows about?
An independent judgment from a well-read lady, how very refreshing! I always regretted the fact that such a fine scholar as Lady Malich does not hail from our kingdom. Perhaps I was simply blind to the treasures of our realm! The fact that some women do in fact receive education, even in this backwater land.
You speak harshly about your own kingdom, my prince. Criticism may be the only weapon of the powerless, but you are hardly without power, are you not?
To be honest, I am pretty powerless. Being a prince mostly entitles me to living in more comfortable quarters than, say, the town's innkeeper. But I don't get even a fraction of his power. But assuming I were a king already, what would you have me do, my lady? What changes would satisfy the subtle taste of a learned modern woman such as you?
I might have read a few books, but I am not a politician. I can speak generally of injustices that require mending or errors which need to be corrected. I believe the kingdom would benefit from reforms and a more modern style of government.
Isn't that a polite way of saying that monarchy is obsolete?
Not necessarily. An enlightened ruler may balance novelty and freedom with stability and tradition. As long as he keeps those who could threaten him either too satisfied or too afraid to rise up against him.
Against him or her, I would add.
Yes, gender plays no role in such matters. At least here we have some equity.
I must admit you are an intriguing woman, my lady. Very different from the rest of the people who came here today. They don't seem to be even slightly bothered by the masks they have to wear. I wonder if it's so because they wear them every single day as well. But you are different. You may be wearing a mask, but you speak to me plainly and honestly, risking being misunderstood or simply rejected. I can appreciate that, even if you did leave me a bit flabbergasted.
I know exactly what you mean, Your Highness. Being raised in a place filled with deceit and spite, I learned very well the value of masks. When threatened, people would rather forget who they are than risk being hurt. And if their surroundings require it, they will lose themselves forever only to survive. We are all slaves to convention, from a servant to a lord.
I must admit, I find the dictum terrifying, that all of us are merely actors on some stage set out for us.
Be it others or fate, being determined by things we can't control is frightening. I know it all too well.
You speak of your family?
I am. It isn't a light story, Your Highness. Definitely not a topic for a polite and charming conversation to make the time pass more pleasantly.
I would like to hear about it nevertheless. If I am not asking for too much, please tell me about your family, my lady.
How could I refuse you, my prince? Well, my mother died in labor, bringing me into this world. My father eventually remarried a woman who already had 2 daughters. So, when they talk about the Concorde and the price she paid, I know she paid with her life, but what exactly was she paying for? Like, maybe Cinders was gonna die and she wanted her to live, so she sacrificed herself? Because that's, like they keep talking about how the price will be exacted, blah blah blah, but all they're doing is giving her a dress and an invitation to a ball. They're not, like, I mean, a life for a life is one thing, but, like, I've been curious this whole time what kind of payment they're going to extract from her, because she didn't ask for that much. But if her mother asked for a healthy daughter, then that is she has to pay with her life. So then I would understand. But yeah, that's been a question this whole time. Like, how much does she have to pay? Like, do fairies always charge a life? Because that's, like, pretty shitty. Anyway, moving on. He died soon after that. So now I live with a stepmother and her 2 daughters.
That is strange. I've never heard of a noble house with 3 daughters and no father. I recall one family of a widow with 2 daughters, though. How is it possible, my lady?
Stepmother doesn't see me as one of her daughters. She allows me to stay in her house under one condition. I work as a servant for bed and board. Those who are familiar with the family know of my existence. As for others, I wouldn't be surprised if she told everyone she has 2 daughters, and that is that.
That's unbelievable!
I did warn you about this topic. It isn't very entertaining.
No, I'm glad you told me about it. It showed me how ignorant I still am, and how little I know about my own realm!
Well, in that case, I'm glad you asked me about your life, my life, whoever's life.
Look at me babbling like a lunatic! You must be wondering what happened to royal manners. I forced you to speak about things which you must find painful during a ball. When we're supposed to be taking our minds off unpleasant things. Please allow me to make amends. Would you do me the honor?
Oh, I'm not really a dancer.
Don't worry, my lady, I'll show you.